I don't have anything, so.
I feel pretty confident with what we're going to do.
Thank you.
Thanks.
What is the issue with, I didn't really know or understand very well, but what's the issue with the nonprofit?
He just had this one line for them already.
Well, I mean, there's other meetings. Ever since our, they let go one of our meetings, you know, big fiscal year, obviously. So our chief engineer. I said, I don't mind the camera, I don't.
Lord, our charts get wrong. I guess we could do it on legal size paper.
Yeah. We cut 15 one kid. I think for a while we were just getting launched on
Oh, I know. Well, you know, with the first, it's easy to do that. And then you get in there and you get so overwhelmed. Yeah.
Oh, no, mine's so, mine's so. Mine is all, it's honestly a year. I mean, yes, to get this to work, I don't even know how this works. And so, but I have like, you'll notice here, Iris kind of works. The auto one.
I think we got to start. Will you join Ginger in placing your phones on silent? The straight table returns to the upright.
Set my seat back forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll have some more folks start to trickle in, so we're going to give them a couple more minutes. The governor had a breakfast today over at the mansion, so I suspect some folks are trying to get back here. So just give us a few minutes, see if we get enough for a quorum.
I'll take it to the said we could get into. Go in and cook the roast next Monday, I believe. I'm gonna get 2 of them, so we'll have to do them, because I just invited the DAs to come over and lunch with us. We won't have cornbread again, because we had that this week. Sometimes I sear it, sometimes I don't, but I just put it in, make slits in, put garlic slices in the slits, and then I just like salt and black pepper on it, and then sear it to crock pot. I usually put onions in there, but since Sydney is supposed to be turned off by onions, and I don't really like onions. So I will put, mushrooms, probably some carrots, so we have some vegetables. And then I'm gonna cook it Monday and then let the fat rise, so I can turn it off. The next day, make gravy and rice. Some kind of green vegetable, maybe broccoli.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we have a quorum. Ms. Ogden, if you'll call the roll for me.
Senator Albritton, Senator Bell, Senator Carnley, Senator Coleman-Madison, Senator Elliott, Senator Figures, Senator Gavan, Senator Orr, Senator Singleton, Senator Smithman, Senator Stutz, Senator Weaver, Senator Barfoot.
Here.
7, we have a quorum.
All right, very good. Members, we had carried over SB24, put it back on the calendar today. That's Senator Coleman-Madison. Senator Coleman-Madison, if you would, tell us about your bill, and I think there's a substitute. Is that right?
It is. Do you all have a copy of the sub?
Is it in the package? It should be in your package, members.
Okay, great. All right. We've really streamlined this bill to basically, I think we have explained it last week, to basically just require that pardons and parole post instructions on how inmates or individuals who are scheduled to be released can get their voting rights back, and also to require the Pardons and Parole Board and Secretary of State to post on their website the names of the individuals who have met all of the criteria, and this list will be sent by Pardons and Parole. So it's just more of a notification bill now.
Got a motion to move adoption of the sub by Senator Gavan, second by Senator Figures. Any discussion on the sub? All right.
Mr. Chairman, move passage, move favorable report.
We got a first and a second on the adoption of the sub. Ms. Ogden, if you'll call the roll.
I'm sorry, we had to vote.
Senator Albritton. Senator Bell. Senator Carnley. Senator Coleman-Madison.
Aye.
Senator Elliott.
Aye.
Senator Figures.
Aye.
Senator Gavan. Senator Orr. Senator Singleton. Senator Smithman. Senator Stutz. Senator Weaver. Senator Barfoot.
Aye. All right, we have adopted the sub now on the.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I want to just thank Senator Coleman-Madison for working on this bill, because I truly do believe that once you have paid your dues, that you should be given all of your rights back. So thank you for continuing to work on this bill. And with that, I move favorable report for SB24.
Got a motion for favorable report by
Using
Senator Figures.
Previous role.
Using previous role. Has a second. Senator Coleman-Madison's the second. Any opposition using previous role? Hearing none, the bill's given favorable report. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you to everybody, particularly Senator Gavan, who helped me to work on this.
Well, thank you for doing that. Sometimes we get in too much of a hurry, and me included in that, and it's important to get it right. So thank you. All right, we got SB 83 on there. I was going to carry that for Senator Orr. I've gotten some phone calls this morning. We're going to carry that one over as well. Let Senator Orr deal with that and the issues that have come up. Next on your agenda is SB 142, which I am carrying. That is an amendment to the reckless endangerment bill. Members, I hope you've had an opportunity to look at that. It's simply, under existing law, reckless endangerment is a misdemeanor, and this bill would provide that an offense of reckless endangerment, heightened criminal penalties if that reckless endangerment conduct posed a substantial risk of serious injury to multiple individuals, and an additional heightened penalty if there was a use of a firearm or dangerous or deadly instrument, deadly weapon or dangerous instrument in the commission of the offense. Be glad to take any questions.
So would that, I assume, car driving through a crowd like we've had in.
That would be a dangerous instrument, yes. Not intended for, to cause harm, maybe like a firearm would, but can use it to cause harm. That would be an example. Senator Albritton.
Thank you. How is a firearm reckless endangerment?
Say that again?
I'm just trying to, if you're, I mean, look, all I'm saying is if we have more felonies, we're going to be putting more people in. So we need more spaces to keep them. I'm fine with putting the people away. We just got to have a place to put them.
I would say to you that if somebody is reckless in their conduct by use of a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument in the commission of an offense, that we should consider jail time for. Senator Stutz, Senator Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Suppose I'm driving down the street and caught in an unruly crowd, and I hit the accelerator to get out of the situation. I didn't drive down that street to try to run over anybody. I'm trying to escape for my own protection.
That's still reckless.
Mens rea, I think your mental intent for why you were there and what you were doing is an important part of that puzzle, and even is now. So, I don't think. In other words, what I'm telling you is I don't think, given that factual scenario, that you would be guilty of reckless endangerment. And I would hope that the DAs around the state, given that factual scenario, would not want to prosecute somebody, because I don't think it'd be favorable in there for them. Senator Bill.
I'll counsel him on what he needs to say when law enforcement stops him.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad that Senator Albritton said what he said, because we are already overcrowded, and we are like at the top of the list almost in the country for the number of people we have incarcerated in the state of Alabama. So at some point, this legislature needs to think about weaning out those who are with the less offensive or nonviolent offenses, the way we have tried to do in the past. So at some point, we need to consider that the way other states are considering that as well, so that there will be room for those who really need to be there. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Figures. Any other discussion? Got a motion for favorable, Senator Van, second by Senator Carnley. Any opposition using previous roll? Hearing none. Add Senator Carnley and Senator Weaver as a yes on both. And Bill's given a favorable report. Thank you, committee members. Up next, we've got Senator Sessions. Is he here?
Mr. Chairman, if he is not here yet, he sent me a message asking me to handle this for him. He's on his way.
All right, very good. He is, I don't see him here, so Senator Weaver, if you want to handle that for him.
Certainly.
I believe it's a bill that we passed last year, if I'm
He
correct.
said it's the same bill that he had last year, and it is notifying the superintendent of education or the principal if a student has been delinquent for committing certain criminal offenses. So it's just creating the awareness for the superintendent or principal if a child has been involved in a capital offense.
All right, members, any questions? All right, we got a motion for favorable by Senator Bell, second by Senator Barfoot. Any opposition using previous roll on that bill? Hearing none, just giving a favorable report. Thank you, Senator Sessions, Vice Senator Weaver. All right, Senator Melson, you're last up today, SB 94.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a substitute I'd like to work off if you wouldn't mind.
Holly, we've got that in the package, don't we? Okay. Members, you should have that sub in there. I'll move to adopt the sub. To have a second? You got a second by Senator Elliott. Any opposition using previous rule on the adoption of the sub? Hearing none, the sub's adopted. Senator Melson on the sub.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr.
Chair-
Chairman.
He's going to explain the difference between the original and this.
Would you make sure you explain the
Just a
difference?
class of misdemeanor, going from a B to a C. So somewhere along the line, we have gone from a handicap parking being a necessity to a abused situation where people will think if a family member has it, I got the entitlement and rights to park in that space. And as we get a higher number of special needs kids with autism or elderly population with the geriatrics, these spots hadn't increased, but the demand for them has. And I was noticing a lot this past winter of people just parking in them as if they had won the lottery. And so they think it saves them 50, 60 more yard steps while somebody else continues to have that handicapped person with them, and they have the difficulty of now not having the space available. So I just thought we ought to increase the fines and make it a Class C misdemeanor, which is, I think, up to $500, community service, and up to 3 months in jail, which they would be unlikely to get. But
Senator Melson, I think members, y'all point out if I'm wrong, I think your sub actually makes it, instead of a C, it bumps it up to a B.
Correct.
Instead of doing the reverse of that.
okay, all right. Well, that might be a little excessive, and I'll be glad to go back to the original if that's okay. Or we can go to a B, and that would be up to 6 months and $3,000 fine. But that might get a little bit pushback. But it's time to do something to reel these abusers in, and I just think we ought to.
Senator Weaver.
I'm sorry, I had that backwards. I apologize.
That's all right.
So, first of all, I'd like to thank you for bringing this bill. I totally agree with you that is a huge issue, and nothing makes me any madder than seeing somebody who is able-bodied take up one of those spots that should be reserved for people who really need them. Is there anything in this bill, and I was trying to flip through the sub, that says if the handicapped or the disabled person dies, that they should relinquish that back?
No, and I think that would be great. And I'm not sure we shouldn't also every 2 years or so make that proof of disability be resubmitted and signed off again. I don't want to put too much burden on them. But yeah, I have seen people's, family continue to use it as long as they have it. A good friend of mine, the wife got one, and then he bragged to the wrong person, me, about using it when he goes to the grocery store. And he obviously needs to walk a little further, but he's my best friend, so I let him know what I thought.
So would you have any issue with us working on an amendment that says
Be great.
if someone dies, you have to
Relinquish it.
relinquish it?
Yeah, and I think we still ought to have them recertified every certain period. I do not know what that is at this time, but I'll find out before it goes to the floor.
Perfect, thank you.
Senator Coleman-Madison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Melson, I thought they had an expiration date on it, or some kind of date. Well, it has a year. I know it has a year on it.
Yeah.
But doesn't it have an expiration time on it?
I'm not sure they enforce that, but I will find that out before we move on.
Okay, I agree with Senator Weaver. Having worked, and this is what I did professionally, I do think we need to,
Would you clarify that a little bit more, what you did professionally? I just was curious.
City of Birmingham ADA Compliance Administrator. I used to tell people I'm an ADA cop.
12 years to find that out.
But I do feel that you say that enforcement is a huge issue. And if it's not enforced, it's not going to work. So this is a source of revenue, really, if they would enforce it.
I agree.
I
Didn't do it for that purpose, but yeah, it would.
I
that's
couldn't
why-
give tickets, but I did make up a sticker when I would see things. I would go around and put it on people's cars, and it would raise a red flag. They would call, and I say, well, it's not a ticket, but had I been a cop, this is what it would have been. So it just reminds people, don't park there.
And is this going to change the world? No, but it's an important issue that we need to address, in my opinion.
It is.
Senator Figures.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. People can also get one of these decals, well, not necessarily decal, but sticker, placard, whatever. They can also get it when they're recovering, like from a surgery or something, right? Would it be possible that when they get it for that, that they would have that expiration date written on that placard, so the law enforcement officer can see that, because, and it would have to be approved by their doctor. I think that would, because if they just have it there and they're going to have it forever, then they're going to continue to use it when they don't necessarily need it. But I agree, we definitely need stricter regulation.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I want to thank the committee for giving all these suggestions. This bill was just to get the conversation going, and these have all been great points, and I will get them worked on before we go to the floor.
Thank you, Senator Melson, for bringing this.
Senator Carnley?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Somebody with recent experience of getting a placard. Not because I wanted to, but the hanging placard has an expiration date written on it. So I think they already do that, and you do have to get approval from your physician to get one. They don't just hand them out, and so I think some of that's already taken care of, but does need to be
So we
clarified.
just need to make sure that law enforcement enforces it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
and the problem is nobody checks the date. They just hang them. Maybe we need to go to a color code every other year and hang them by the color instead of the date. I've never seen anybody look at the placard and go, oh, this is out of date, let's write a ticket. So maybe we need to look at color coding those or something too.
Senator Bell?
They're color, I thought they're all blue.
I think part of the problem on the enforcement is they come to court.
Temporary.
The law enforcement officer don't have time to sit in the parking lot the whole time and wait and wait and wait for somebody to come out. If they see the individual, it's different. Then they come to court. Oh, well, I had so-and-so with me. They were in the store, and the placard really belongs to them.
Yes.
I think we're all in agreement. One avenue that could change it, and I'll be glad, if you don't mind, work on an amendment.
Be great.
If that car is there in a handicapped parking place and there's no one handicapped in that car, let's tow it. That'll get people's attention. They're not paying their court costs now. They're not paying their fines now. The court system, I think, sees that very few people are paying those as we sit here today, but may get their attention. And there's nothing that makes me, I think everybody here has told stories. My dad had a wreck years ago and was in a wheelchair, and you have to go park in the bottom of the parking lot because you see people younger than me jump out of the car up there in the handicap spots, go in the store, there's nothing wrong with them, and you can't find a place to park for someone that's handicapped or someone that's in a wheelchair or problems. Let's start towing the vehicles, and I think law enforcement would enjoy doing that, I can tell you, because that happens right then and gets attention, and that may get their attention. But that's just, I'd love to, since you did that, I'd love to talk to you about that.
Senator Figures?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not for that because they are allegedly in violation. And some people have conditions where they have pain within their body that might strike them at certain times.
Look, if the placard is assigned to them, they can look that placard up. When I'm talking,
Well, I would think in terms of yeah, I think that's a bit harsh to tow it. But I do think in terms of a solution for the officers not necessarily having to come to court, they could take a photo of the decal showing that it's expired or whatever, and that could be presented as evidence without the officer actually having to show up. Just an idea.
then they're going to hire Senator Smitherman, and he's going to come in there and say that photo's not evidence.
Members, I think everybody sees this as a
Well,
problem,
it could be in the
understands it is,
legislation
and I
that
think,
it is approved.
members, I think everybody sees this as a problem. Senator Melson's given at least a partial solution to that. We've adopted the sub, and we've talked about it. Senator Smitherman, you've just joined us. If you want to weigh in on this, and then we're going to.
No, I want to be recognized after we get through the.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to look into also maybe, a QRS code on it that a policeman could look at a phone and that tells you exactly who the issue to. So we'll look at that.
It's
too.
not a bad idea. It's a good
I
idea.
have one every now and then.
Yeah. Okay. We're on the sub. Do I have a first and second on the, okay, we passed the sub. Now we're on the, bill as amended.
We'll get that fixed when it comes.
No, we're still on the sub and we've adopted that sub. Well,
We'll get it fixed before it goes to the floor, Josh.
all right.
So, I don't do criminal law, I have to point that out from time to time, but these more punishment than a C, I think that's a little excessive, so I'd like to see it go back to an A.
Okay.
to a C.
You mean a C?
I struggle with my ABCs too.
I don't do criminal law.
All right, I'll move for favorable report on the sub. Have a second. Second by Senator Bell. Any opposition using previous role? Senator Smithman, would you like to be added to that?
Yes,
Is a yes?
yes.
All right, hearing no opposition, it's given favorable report. You've got some great comments in here. If you would just work with the folks that are here.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Smithman.
I'd just like to, be added as yes on those other bills.
Would you add Senator Smitherman as a yes on those other bills? And one of them, Senator Coleman-Madison, was a sub. It should be in your package. I know you've taken a look at it. Just make sure you know that.
Okay.
All right, that is the end of the agenda and probably a record time for Judiciary. So we hope to see you next week. We are adjourned.
Good job.